Hi, and thanks for joining me today. It's Patty from pspapercrafts, and I want to show you how to make this pretty card. It says, "Know that you are loved," and it has this sunflower. So pretty. I love sunflowers, and I wanted to tell you that this is one of the bundles. I have it over here. That is 20% off during the month of March. So for March, we have select bundles that work with our mini stamp and cut and emboss machine, and this is also on sale 20% off. So for the whole month of March, you can get the machine 20% off, and then there's a number of bundles. You can look at them at my website, pspapercrafts.com, and I'll have that information there. So I thought I would start using some of these new bundle or older bundles that are on sale and just show you how they work. Now, I would have thought this was too big to fit in the mini, these dies, but they fit perfectly. So the big thing is that you have to have your paper cut down to about 3.5 inches. So let me just measure this. Yeah, it's about 3.5 is the measurement of this. So I would go a little bit under that. And it works for a lot of dies. I also use the label dies. I'm using Tasteful labels. These all work in this machine. So I had this on my live on Wednesday that you can't only use this machine if you have big embossing folders, the wide ones, or if you have bigger dies that are bigger than that size, you know, you'd need the regular size one. But if you have that and you can afford this, it's really a nice deal. I think it's $60 for $48, something like that, but you can look online. It's nice just to have it at your desk. It folds up small. You could take it with you if you go to a crop or something like that. So it's really neat. I'm glad I have both. I do use this quite a bit. So anyway, so let's get started making the card. The paper that I'm using is from the Artful, what is it called? I never remember, you know me. Artfully Composed Designer Series paper. And this is all this tropical leaves and stuff. It was part of my card class. But I love this one. It looks like there's some script writing, and I thought it went well with the orange in here. And I'll show you how I made this. So we have a early espresso base, and then we have this is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I have a white layer to go behind it. So that's our kind of the layers and stuff. And then I have some pieces cut so I'll fit in my machine. And I am using the big sunflower, and I'll stamp that with early espresso ink, and then I'm going to do some blending with the blending brushes to get the yellow and the orange look on it. I think it looks pretty natural. So we'll just stamp this right on here. Okay, and then I'm going to get a piece of scrap. Let me just close this up. I want to have a piece of scrap because I am going to do some blending. So we have that, and I'm using my blending brush, and I have done some yellow and orange on this, so just want to make sure it's not too orange. So I'm using Calypso Coral and Bumblebee, and I'm just going to do some light blending, and I don't care if I go outside of this because I'm going to cut it. So we'll just go and get it all nice and yellow, and then we'll add some orange. And this is a nice soft way, or a way of getting soft coloring on it. And then we'll close this up, and we're going to get the Calypso Coral. And I'm not going to clean this because this is a darker color, and I'll just pick this up, and I'm going to go in the middle. I'm not going to go too far out to the edges, but it just gives it kind of a natural look. So part of it's yellow, part of it's orange. Isn't that pretty? I think it's really nice. And actually, I didn't think about this, but you could add some Winkastella to that. So that we're going to cut in a few minutes. I'm doing the same kind of idea with the leaves. So I have a piece over here for the leaves. And I'm stamping that in Garden Green. It's a darker green. And then I want 3 of these. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. And then I'll get a different blending brush that I'm using for greens. Now I wash this, and I actually heard, it depends on how many of these brushes you have. If you have enough for different color families, you don't have to wash them, and they said it's good not to wash them because it holds the ink in it, and then you're not starting from an empty, clean brush. But if you don't have enough for different colors, you may want to wash them. You can, I rinsed this under water and got a lot of the color out, or you can use your chamois and rub it on there, or you can use a microfiber cloth. It's just that you're taking all the ink out, and then it needs a lot of ink to ink it up back up again. But I'm going to, you know, start a collection and see if I can get enough for each color family. Now you can go darker and lighter, and just make sure you clean it like on your paper if you're going from a dark to a light. But if you're going from a light to a dark, you don't really have to do that. So that just gives it a nice soft look. I see I'm missing some here. Okay, so we have those done. And then let's stamp our label. And I am doing that in the early espresso on this piece. So we'll get all our stamping done. Then we have to do the inside, of course. But we'll just go like this. Put this right here. And now we can do our die cutting. So let me get this away and put this aside and get my machine out. And I do like to use some of this Post-it tape. You can use Post-it note. This is like a piece of tape. It seems like a piece of tape, but it's soft. It's not too sticky, so you can get your Post-it note. You're not pulling your paper up. So let's get this die. So this is the Tasteful Label die, and I use this one. I love these dies. These are great. So we're just going to put this right here and make sure it's kind of centered. And I'll just take a piece of this. It's a big piece. And I just want to hold it down in place. And you could reuse this. So we'll just run this through. And this is a pretty short run. It's not as, the plate is not as big as the big one. So it makes it easy to get it through here. So we have this one. And, you know, once you have all your pieces, you just put your card together. So we'll put this over here on the side, put this away. Let's do our big sunflower. Now, the sunflower, it's a little kind of trick to figuring out where to line it up. You can go round and round in circles to try to get it lined up. I see that there's these right here. They're really curved. I always look for something that kind of stands out a little bit. So if you see that curve, it's kind of going this way, and it just helps you to get started with it. And then this will go around. So see all that outside blending ink, it's going to be cut off. So I'm just looking at this. So we're just going to put a piece of Post-it here and one here, and we can run this through. And then we'll do the leaves. And the leaves, there's only one die, so you have to run it through, you know, each leaf by itself. So I'll probably speed it up for that. So here we go, this big die. And even this die, this is the outside one. If you wanted to put a layer, like a thin layer, that fits in there as well. Pretty cool. So let's take this off. And we have our beautiful sunflower. And we'll take this off, and now we'll run through the leaves. So there's this leaf, and there's also this leaf, which is also like the veins that you could put a darker color over this. But I really wanted this just to be a soft look with the blending. So we're going to do this 3 times, and I will speed it up so that you don't have to see the whole thing 3 times. So we'll just put this down, and here we go. Okay, so we have all 3 leaves. We have all our die cutting done. So let's put this back and put this away. So I just keep it on my desk over there. It's kind of out of camera view, but it's right there. So I just also wanted to tell you that there's this inside piece for the inside of the flower. It's a solid piece with little dots if you wanted to. There's some greenery. And then this one will cut out this smaller sunflower, which I think is really cute. There's some other leaves. I like the you know that you are loved. Thanks a bunch. Let's celebrate you. Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. So I think they're all nice, and you can use any of them. I chose to use Know That You Are Loved for both of these cards. And I don't have a sentiment on the inside. This is one of those cards where I wouldn't put a sentiment on the inside. So let's get some liquid glue. And I did cut the edge of this because I didn't want it to hang over. So I'm going to glue this together just like this. So we have this nice white border. So it'll break it up from the dark card base. And I wanted to put this on. I put it on with dimensionals. So I kind of held it in place. I wanted to have as much as I could on the card. So I just turned it over, took my snips, and cut it. It's always good to cut it from behind. Now, if I was going to glue this down, I wouldn't do it this way, but I thought with the dimensionals, it might be harder to cut because it would be popped up. Okay, so here we go. So now we can take our dimensionals, and the actually, before we do the dimensionals, and well, we can do them. When I put this down, I had a dimensional here. I had a hard time getting that leaf in there. So I'm going to put the dimensionals toward the middle. I was thinking I would put the leaves down first, but let's just put the dimensionals toward the middle so we have plenty of room for the leaves. I could also put the leaves, this can go down here. I can put the leaves up, let's see. I could have put the leaves, like glued them up here, put them on dimensionals, but I wanted them down below. So I think this is good. I've got room on the side and above. So let's see. I'll put one more out here because I'm not going to put leaves up there. So just, you know, think ahead if you can, or learn by your mistake like I did, as to where you're going to put your dimensionals. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but sometimes it's makes it easier if you don't have them in the wrong place. So let's just take off this one, and there we go. So now this is just really sitting in the corner, right along the edge, and that's what I was after. So now the leaves, we want to put a couple here, and you can cut them if they're hanging over and you don't like where they are. But this is still going to sit on the dark card base, so it's okay if they're hanging over a little. I just didn't like this white. I don't know, that kind of bothered me. So let's put this one here, and then we'll see if it bothers me or bothers you, right? So we'll just put this here. I think that one is fine. See, I snipped it off on the bottom here. And then we'll put some glue on these and put it under. And I just think it's a soft, pretty look. Oops, see. I want that white not showing. Okay, there we go. And then we want to put the You Are Loved. Let me just clear this out. And where do I have the You Are Loved? There it is. So we want to put this on with dimensionals as well. And now you wonder why I have dimensionals. I have them all over me. Sometimes I'm cooking and the dimensional will fall out of my sleeve or something. Get dressed for bed and I've got dimensionals on me. I'm sure you do that as well. I'm not the only one, right? And we'll just get these off. and put this right here. And I just think this is really a beautiful card. It's kind of a fall card, but you can do these anytime, sunflowers. The area that I lived in New York, we had sunflower farms that were just beautiful. They were just fields and fields of sunflowers. And I love the little ones. I mean, the big ones are beautiful, but they have these little ones now that the smaller flower, they're just so pretty. There we go. And now on the inside, so I just did a little part of the sunflower. So let's get our scrap back and let me put this on so it's not drying out. And I'm going to use the small one, and I'll do it again in the early espresso. And let me just get a card inside. And I really just tried to get it on the corner. It wasn't that I was trying not to get the leaves on, but I was kind of glad it wasn't, because then I don't have to worry about green. So I don't have my sticker on this one. So we're just going to go down in the corner, and I will be doing the blending brush again. So the last thing I did was the orange, so I want to just get that off and go back to my bumblebee. And I don't know if you can see, but I do have it going outside a little bit, and I just think it gives it a nice soft background, so I was okay with that. So just get it in there as light or as dark as you want, and you could put one on top if you want as well. And then I just really want to be very careful about adding the orange, the Calypso Coral. I don't want to go too far out because I really want to keep that yellow tone to it. Beautiful, right? The other alternative is you could stamp it, color it, and then cut it out with the die and add it that way. So let's get our Stampin' seal and put this down. Get rid of that. And then the card, oh, we have to put our butterfly on it. So let's just put this right here. So we'll add a butterfly. These are the brushed brass butterflies. And this is my ordering special for March. So if you place an order at my online store for $50 in product before shipping and handling, I'm looking for my my thing. I'll just use my scissors. So if you place an order, $50 order with me on my online shop, I will send you a package of these brushed brass butterflies. I have to say that slow because it is a tongue twister for me. And they're really beautiful. There's 2 sizes, and I think they just add something fun and nice to your card. I mean, sunflowers and butterflies, you can't beat that. So aren't they pretty? You could add Winkicella. This is darker than this. So every time you do it, it depends on how much pressure you put when you're doing the blending and how much ink and all of that. You'll get a little bit of a different look, but I think they're really pretty. Thanks so much for joining. Catch me live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I usually do a card then as well. All right, take care. Bye.